Let me tell you something. Nobody's coming to hand you your dreams on a silver platter. You sitting around waiting for a sign, waiting for the right moment. That moment ain't coming unless you make it happen. You got to force yourself to level up. Ain't no elevator to success. You got to take the stairs, and sometimes you got to drag yourself up each one. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and results. Show up even when you don't feel like it. This is the truth most people ignore. Everybody wants the reward, but they don't want the routine. They want the outcome, but they shy away from the process. Dreams sound good. They look good on vision boards. They feel good when you talk about them out loud, but dreams mean nothing without discipline behind them. The truth is, the life you're dreaming about is waiting on the other side of your discipline. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another YouTube video, another book, another inspiring quote on social media. What you need is to show up consistently, intentionally, and relentlessly, not just on the days you're inspired, but especially on the days you're not. There will be mornings you wake up and everything in you says stay in bed. There will be days your emotions tell you to quit. There will be weeks where progress feels slow, where results feel invisible, where everything you're doing feels pointless. But that's when discipline steps in and carries the weight. That's when your decision has to be stronger than your move. You can't build greatness only when the conditions are perfect. You build greatness in the rain, in the storm, in the silence, when no one's clapping and no one's watching. You push through anyway, because the version of you you're becoming is counting on you to stay consistent. Showing up when it's hard is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's easy to make promises in January, but discipline is what keeps those promises alive in June. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it asks what you committed to. And if you're serious about leveling up, you have to stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop giving in to the voice in your head that says, not today, just one more break. I'll start tomorrow. That voice is comfortable. That voice is lying to you. And if you listen to it too long, you'll stay stuck in a life that looks nothing like the one you were created for. The strongest people you admire aren't always the most talented or the most gifted. They're the most disciplined. They kept showing up. They kept writing, building, training, learning, working when they were tired, discouraged, and tempted to give up. They didn't depend on inspiration. They depend on discipline, because discipline doesn't fade. Discipline becomes a habit. And once something becomes a habit, it becomes a lifestyle. When you build a lifestyle of discipline, your life begins to shift. Your mind sharpens. Your confidence grows. Your results multiply. That's how you go from surviving to thriving. That's how you separate yourself from the crowd. That's how you earn respect, peace, and power. You show up and you do the work. Not because it's easy, not because you always feel like it, but because you made a commitment to yourself and you're not about to break it. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for ideal conditions. You put your head down and you lock in on your goals. You get up early. You stay focused. You say no to things that don't align. You build structure around your time, your habits, your energy. You treat your goals like they matter, because they do. Comfort zones kill potential. Growth only comes through discomfort and sacrifice. Most people live their entire lives inside a box they built themselves, not because they don't want more, but because they're afraid of what it takes to get it. Comfort is warm, it's familiar, it's predictable. It tells you everything's okay as long as you stay right where you are. But the truth is, nothing extraordinary ever happens in comfort. The life you keep imagining, the breakthroughs you keep praying for, the strength you know you have deep inside, it all lives outside the boundaries of comfort. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you shrink your potential a little more. You dull your edge. You settle. You convince yourself that maybe average isn't so bad. But that voice that whispers in the quiet moments, that feeling in your gut that says, I'm meant for more, that's your potential trying to speak over your fear. That hardship you're trying to avoid is shaping you in ways comfort never could. Discomfort challenges your habits, questions your beliefs, and forces you to confront what you've been running from. It exposes your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. It puts pressure on your excuses until they fall apart. Sacrifice is the price you pay to elevate. You want more than you have to give up something. Time, energy, old habits, toxic relationships, unhealthy mindsets. They all need to go. Growth demands that you let go of who you were so you can become who you're meant to be. That's not easy. That's not always fun, but that's necessary. Most people aren't willing to let go. They rather protect their comfort than chase their calling. But comfort will never reward you. It just keeps you stuck. Sacrifice, though, that's what unlocks doors. That's what creates room for elevation. You don't get to rise while holding on to what's holding you back. You have to make room for greatness. You have to clear out the clutter, physically, mentally, emotionally, so that clarity, discipline, and purpose can take its place. If you keep choosing comfort, you keep getting the same results. You'll keep watching other people live the life you wanted. You'll keep wondering what's wrong, why you're stuck, why your dreams feel far away. But when you start choosing growth, when you start embracing the pain that comes with change, everything shifts. You start becoming the person you were designed to be. The version of you that's strong, focused, sharp, and unshakable isn't found in easy decisions. That version is found in the middle of your hardest moments. That version rises when you're uncomfortable and choose to keep going anyway. Excuses don't build empires. Decisions and actions do. Excuses are easy. They come naturally when fear shows up, when doubt creeps in, or when the grind gets tough. They sound convincing, even logical. I don't have the time. I'm not ready yet. What if I fail? I'll do it later. These are the phrases that keep people stuck in the same cycle year after year. Excuses give you permission to settle. They create a fake sense of comfort, as if doing nothing is better than trying and failing. But the truth is, the only thing excuses ever build is regret. They're bricks in the wall between you and the life you were meant to live. And the longer you entertain them, the more powerful they become. Every great achievement begins with a decision. Not a perfect moment, not a magical sign, but a decision to start, a decision to move forward, even when the path isn't clear. When you decide to take control, to stop blaming the past, to stop waiting on people to validate you, and to stop doubting your ability, you take your power back. Power doesn't come from luck or chance. It comes from action. You build confidence not by thinking, but by doing. The people who rise to the top aren't the ones with the most talent, the most support, or the most money. They're the ones who made a decision and backed it up with consistent action. Action beats excuse every single time. You can plan, research, think, and talk all day long, but until you do, nothing changes. Dreams stay dreams without discipline. Goals stay goals without grind. You have to stop waiting for perfect conditions because they don't exist. There's always going to be a reason to wait. There's always going to be a fear to face, a challenge to overcome, a voice in your head telling you you're not enough, but action shuts that voice up. Action silences doubt. Action builds momentum. And once you start moving, you start changing. Every small step chips away at the limitations you placed on yourself. Every bold move redefines what's possible. Doing something great requires focus, energy, courage, and resilience. But most of all, it requires a choice to show up and execute no matter how you feel. Empires aren't built in comfort. They're built in the trenches by people who refuse to accept average. They're built by individuals who choose to keep pushing even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when there are 1,000 reasons to quit. You got to ask yourself, are you feeding your excuses or your empire? Are you investing in progress or hiding behind reasons? Because you can't do both. You can either explain why you didn't succeed or show proof of why you did. And that proof will always be found in what you chose to do when it was easier not to. Excuses are loud, but actions start changing. Your life starts changing. Success requires daily commitment, not occasional motivation. Too many people rely on moments of inspiration to get things done. But the truth is, inspiration fades. That burst of energy you feel after watching a motivational video or hearing an uplifting message is temporary. What really builds a successful life is what you do after that feeling disappears. It's about showing up every single day, even when the fire inside you isn't burning as bright. Motivation might get you started, but only commitment will carry you across the finish line. Commitment means you made a decision and you're sticking with it, no matter how you feel, no matter what's happening around you, and no matter how long it takes. You don't become successful by working hard when it's convenient. You become successful by building discipline into your lifestyle. It's not about doing big things once in a while. It's about doing the small things, the right things, over and over again. Whether it's your business, your health, your mindset, or your finances, growth comes from consistency. It's waking up early, even when you're tired. It's practicing your craft, even when nobody is watching. It's choosing to improve every day, even when no one is clapping for you. The daily habits you choose will always outweigh the occasional hype you feel. Commitment means you're not just interested, you invested. You've put something on the line. You've made it non-negotiable. That kind of commitment shifts your mindset. It makes you focus. It builds endurance. It teaches you how to keep going when you want to stop. Every day won't be exciting. Every moment won't feel powerful. But each time you choose to stay consistent, you're planting seeds that will grow into results. And the more consistent you become, the more confident you feel. Confidence doesn't come from talking about your goals. It comes from working on them every day. It comes from seeing progress, even if it's small. It comes from knowing that you're moving forward when most people are standing still. Motivation asks you to wait until you feel ready. Commitment says do it anyway. Motivation wants you to feel good before you act. Commitment tells you to act even when you don't feel good. Success is not emotional, it's intentional. It's built on structure, routine, and repetition. When you commit to something long enough, it becomes part of you. It becomes your identity. You no longer need to talk yourself into taking action because it's just what you do. You don't wait for a good day, you create one. You don't wait for opportunities, you prepare for them. You don't chase results, you build the system that produces them. Every great person you admire didn't get there by accident. They showed up on the days it didn't make sense. They did the work when it wasn't fun. They made choices that aligned with their goals even when other people didn't understand. They weren't perfect, but they were committed. And over time, that commitment turned into success. Your mindset is the foundation of your next level. Think bigger, act bolder. Everything you achieve, everything you experience, and everything you attract begins with how you think. If your mind is limited, your life will be limited. If your thoughts are small, your actions will shrink to fit those thoughts. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you believe you deserve. That belief starts in your mind. Most people never rise because their mindset keeps pulling them back. They want more, but they think less. They dream big, but act small because deep down, they don't truly believe it's possible for them. If you want to level up, the first thing you must upgrade is your thinking. Strong mindset is not just about being positive. It's about being powerful. It's about telling yourself the truth even when it's hard. It's about knowing who you are, what you're capable of, and where you're going. A weak mindset folds under pressure, but a strong one rises. A strong mindset doesn't need applause to stay focused. It doesn't need results today to trust the process. It just keeps moving forward. Thinking bigger means refusing to let fear shrink your vision. It means challenging every lie you've believed about your worth, your potential, and your future. It's deciding that the ceiling others place over you doesn't belong to you anymore. When you start thinking bigger, everything changes. You stop selling, you stop chasing approval, you stop living for likes and start living for legacy. You realize that your time is valuable, your energy is sacred, and your purpose is non-negotiable. Thinking bigger makes you walk different, talk different, move different. Because when your mind grows, your environment eventually has to catch up. That's why bold action becomes the next step. Big thinking without bold doing leads to frustration. You can't wait for things to happen. You have to go make them happen. Boldness means taking risks, stepping out when you don't have all the answers, and betting on yourself even when nobody else will. Most people stay stuck not because they lack talent, but because they lack belief. You can learn any skill. You can gain any experience. But if your mindset says I'm not enough, then everything else falls apart. You have to start feeding your faith and starving your fears. You have to start speaking life into your dreams and stop speaking doubt into your goals. Your next level isn't waiting on more money or more support. It's waiting on a shift in your mind, a shift from survival to strategy, from reaction to responsibility, from hoping to executing, from wishing to working. That shift only happens when you start thinking like the person you want to become. You were never meant to live small, think small, or play small. Playing small doesn't serve the world. Hiding your power doesn't help anyone. When you finally decide to expand your mindset, you break every limit that wants to define you. You no longer shrink to fit in. You rise to stand out. Nobody's coming to save you. You are responsible for your breakthrough. This is the mindset shift most people avoid because it forces you to take full ownership of your life. It's easy to wait, to hope, to blame. It's easy to point at your circumstances, your upbringing, your lack of resources and say, that's why I'm not where I want to be. But as long as you believe someone else is responsible for your success, you've already given your power away. You have to look in the mirror and realize that your future is in your hands. Not your boss, not your parents, not your partner, not society, just you. Nobody's handing you a perfect opportunity. Nobody's going to drag you out of bed and make you chase your purpose. You have to get up on your own. You have to decide that you're done waiting for a savior and ready to become the solution. But life doesn't reward excuses. It rewards effort. There's no rescue team coming for your goals. There's no magic moment where everything suddenly lines up. It's you versus you. Every day. You against your laziness. You against your distractions. You against your fear. And every time you choose to fight, you grow stronger. Every time you refuse to back down, you gain clarity. You start to realize that you don't need perfect conditions. You need relentless commitment. You don't need everybody to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself enough to keep going when nobody claps. Because there will be days when you feel alone. There will be nights when doubt screams louder than faith. That's when you remind yourself you've made it this far. You've survived storms before, and you're not done yet. Breakthroughs don't just happen, they're built. They're earned through decisions that are repeated, refined, and reinforced. That means taking responsibility for your time, your habits, your focus, your energy. That means showing up early, staying late, sacrificing comfort for progress, and refusing to let excuses drive the car. It's about shifting your mindset from, I hope things get better, to, I'm going to make things better. Because nobody can grind for you. Nobody can develop your skills for you. Nobody can heal your wounds or rewrite your story unless you take the pen and do it yourself. Ownership changes everything. It forces you to stop blaming and start building. It teaches you that the life you want is not out of reach. It's just waiting for you to claim it. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being willing to search for them. It's about saying, I might not be where I want to be yet, but I'm not staying here. You can't outsource your transformation. You can't wait for someone to come fix what you're not willing to face. The moment you accept that it's on you is the moment you unlock your power. You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself direction. You stop asking for miracles and start creating movement. You stop standing still and start stepping into the version of yourself you were always meant to become.